low. We got T-shirts on hand.
We do.
If you want a Sportsocracy T-shirt, ESPN Asheville T-shirt, we got some of those. I also have some tickets to a little thing called Country Thunder in Bristol.
Bristol, Tennessee, tomorrow.
That I was able to snake away.
Little Hardy, little Bailey Zimmerman. Did you steal some of those for yourself?
I did. I got them for myself, and then my wife said, "I don't know," and so I'm just gonna give them away. And
that's what we do here.
Tell her I lost them. Can't.
That's what we do here.
Yeah.
They give us cool stuff, and we give it away. There is one thing we've been given, though, that we won't be giving away.
What is that?
And if you come to see us here at Lovely Parks Ford, 601 Duncan Hill Road in Hendersonville, it's the mobile command studio for our Living the Dream tour. Tank, did you get a good look at the lovely vehicle that we will be driving on this tour?
I believe I did.
I think you're going to need a stepladder to get into that.
Quite possibly.
Parks Ford, great allies of ours here in the Sportsocracy. JW, the GM here, is one of my new favorite people. I just met him a few weeks ago, and we already have that frat boy relationship of we see each other at events. It's the immediate hug, and then it's time for fun times.
Yep.
I'm very, very excited. We will have the truck on full display on our social medias later tonight. You'll be able to see what it is that we are driving, thanks to our friends here at Parks Ford. I got to see it before Tank did, and so I knew exactly what it was. It has 37-inch tires.
That's a lot.
Tank, the tires on our truck are taller than you are. So, I mean, metric and standard and conversions and things like that. I mean, I can't verify that they're taller than you.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be grabbing JW at some point, bringing him in to talk to you about Parks Ford, all the things that they do for the community. Parks Ford cares, and they are here once again helping out the community. Camp Do Good also is here as well with the American Red Cross. Taking the blood donation, 601 Duncan Hill Road. Come on down and see us. The Living the Dream Tour, of course, also brought to you by our good friends at Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. Missing the confines of the Ingles studio today. It feels weird being outside of the box and seeing other people. I don't get to do this very often. I mean, Mark's been in Virginia all week, and so it's just been me.
See, and that's where you're having an issue. I'm feeling a little weird that I'm doing the show in pants because I haven't for like 2 months.
Well,
from Mullet Manor, the beauty of that is I'm the only one at Mullet Manor. So if I want to walk around in a bathrobe, I could do that.
Well, on behalf of Parks Ford, Camp Do Good, and the American Red Cross, we are all glad that you have pants on today.
Stephen Tao asked what we're naming the mobile command center for the Living the Dream tour. I mean, the Dream Machine feels like the right call.
The Dream Machine. That's a ripoff of Scooby-Doo. You realize that, right? I mean,
Raggy.
That feels like a great contest.
Yeah, it
we
does.
should throw that out to the House of Reprehensibles. We will take all of your submissions. The what's the word I'm looking at? The suggestions. Right?
Yes.
You make a nomination for the name of it. We can run a whole campaign. You guys can name the vehicle. How about that?
Oh, and whoever wins
that sounds like a social media campaign. That sounds like a whole bunch of stuff.
And whoever wins it gets tickets to, I don't know, Tennessee, NC State at Bank of America Stadium.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
To sit with us.
Yeah.
See, I had that. It's been in my holster right here, and I didn't know where I was going to give that away.
Well,
but I found it.
I'm glad you have that procured because this is the first I'm hearing of it, and I'm going, well, who's paying for that? Where did that come from?
Ingles,
right, Jeremy.
Low prices, love the savings.
There we go. All right, so big news in the sports world
is it though?
Well, I mean, it's the only thing that anybody wants to talk about because honestly, who wants to focus on the rosters of the NBA G League teams? We want to focus on somebody that's actually going to make a starting roster that was drafted in the second round, and it's Bronny.
Well,
Bronny's the guarantee here.
Well, I mean, and here's the thing. I can guarantee you he's going to make the roster.
Yep.
Now, here is my question. Who has a better chance of playing meaningful minutes for the Los Angeles Lakers in 2024?
Uh-huh.
Bronny James, J.J. Redick, or Jeannie Buss? And I'm pretty sure it's the third.
It's Jeannie.
I have, and I'm not going to lie. We were, Tank and I were at a funeral yesterday. I got home just in time to, have a new dishwasher put in my house. That was fun. The guy was sitting outside my door with a fully loaded brand new dishwasher, just waiting on me to unlock said door. And I got home just in time to see the second round. And the more of that I watched, the more I went, do you realize the actual message you're sending here? That you have talked more about a number 55 overall pick than you did about the number 1 pick. And it wasn't close.
No.
Did you see the Truth in Media survey of how much time they spent talking about Bronny?
No.
Versus Zachary Rizache?
No.
It was 4-1. That you talked about a guy that averaged, 2.7 points at USC?
Yep.
Here's my question. Why'd you have to draft him? I mean, was there really a risk that another team was going to do it?
No.
The narrative that Rich Paul was calling other teams and going, well, you can't draft Bronny or he'll go play in Australia. I would have done it to be a jerk. Like if I was
I'd have called your bluff.
I mean, look, the New York Knicks traded a pick for a guy who just got a hip replacement. I'll tell you that story later in this here hour. If I was the Boston Celtics, I would have gone, you know what? I'll take him just to give you the Stone Cold Steve Austin double bird. Like, oh, that's what you want to do? Nope. No, sir, you won't. No, sir, you won't. I think I would have started pulling for the Knicks again if they had just gone, no, you know what? We're not trading this pick. We're taking Bronny James, and we're going to put him on a 2-way contract and make him go to Australia.
The Boston Celtics picked at 54, and they should have done that.
No doubt.
The Boston Celtics should have ruined every bit of this and added to the rivalry, right? You want to have the perfect moment? Here you go. And then we're going to stash him with the Fort Wayne Mad Ants for 3 years.
I was sitting there watching my television going, do it. Do it. You know you want to. I mean, that's what a sideshow the NBA's become. Is that first of all, we didn't need a second night of that.
Like this is, of course,
that you had at 4 o'clock in the afternoon in between Oprah Winfrey and Maury Povich.
I'm telling you, the only reason that they did that was to keep the ad revenue the same. They went, these spots are not worth near as much as they were years ago whenever we signed some of these contracts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a second night. I'm going to charge you the same amount, and I'm just going to give you more spots. That's how you do that, obviously, in the, knowing a little something about the ad business as I've been in it for 20 years. That's how you can keep charging the same rate. You just give them a little bit more inventory. So I gave you a second night of inventory for the same price.
Do they ever do it again?
Yeah.
Next year, does the NBA draft go 2 nights?
They do.
I don't think it does. I think it was such a
disaster. You think
disaster.
the number will be that bad?
Even with Bronny James, I think it was such a disaster that you'll never do it again.
Will it be how bad does the number have to be? Oh, what's your expectation? Are you expecting anything over 1 million?
Any WNBA game that doesn't feature Caitlin Clark. I'll bet you're that bad. I'm talking 400,000
400,000 people. I wouldn't be shocked. I didn't turn it on for 1 single second, not on either night. I did not even kind of care about any of it. I will see it later, and I will spend my time watching the new season of The Bear on Hulu, because that's what we did.
I don't even know what The Bear is.
You've never seen you have to watch The Bear. The Bear is
okay,
so good.
I'm going to steal Vic Shelton's line here. I need you to explain The Bear to me like I'm 5.
All right, The Bear is it's a kitchen drama. It's chefs, fancy restaurant. Actually, it's they have no money. They're borrowing money from uncle, and they're trying to start their own restaurant. Like the first season is them getting it off the ground. The second season is like 2 days into the business, and then the third season is now like 4th day of the business. It's really good, and it's really intense, and it's really adult. We'll say
adult's the first word that you said that
F
made
words.
me go.
I mean, there's F words everywhere, and it is phenomenal.
You mean like the one I said, surrounded by I don't and care, as we were talking about Bronny James?
Yeah, look. It's no different than any other business. Right?
Oh no, it is. It's very different.
How is this different since we're here at Parks Ford Hendersonville? How is this any different than, say, the GM here having a son who wants to get into the car business, and here you go, I'm bringing him in. He's now going to be on my sales team, permanent spot or contracted spot or whatever. Why is this any different than that?
Well, because there are 1 million car sales jobs. There are 450 spots in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what all I could think about was I'm thinking about a guy like Drew Pember that played at UNCA.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot tell me in any shape, form, or fashion that Bronny James will have more of an impact in the NBA than he would have. And this guy didn't get selected for sheer nepotism. Because I got news for you. I've watched Bronny James. I've watched Bronny James for years. I've never once thought NBA player.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I think when I watch him play? Marcus Jordan. It's exactly what he is. Oh, you could have played at South Florida and averaged 7 points a game. That's about the best you could do. Now what I'm looking forward to is, since he has to stay on the 15-man roster, I can't wait for the first time the Lakers get blown out and some G League All-Star just decides he's going to posterize Bronny for 5.5 solid minutes. And he scores 26 points in a row on him.
Is he on the starting roster next, or not? I guess not. He's not starting, right? But he's on the team to begin the year next year. Does he stay long?
Yes. They've already said we're not doing two-way contracts. He will be on the team. And that's the other part.
So
no
G League.
You just guarantee. So you guaranteed him no reps. You guaranteed you're wasting a roster spot. You guarantee, and all to keep LeBron James. What? So you can be the 7 seed in the West and get swept in the first round again? Congratulations.
Well, what's the alternative? Okay, we don't have LeBron James, and now we're what? I have Anthony Davis. Yay! Now I don't even make the playoffs.
I could make the argument that you're in better shape.
Without LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, please, I can't wait to hear this. We got to take a break. You're in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy live on the road at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Come on down 601 Duncan Hill Road in Hendersonville. We are here until 3 o'clock, and American Red Cross taking blood donations as well. So helping out the community while we're down here at Parks Ford. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
I got to try to fix this thing. Okay. I mean, that's going to happen because we're on the card. We're on the Verizon card. We don't have a hardwired Ethernet here. So, yeah.
10-4.
Just let us know if it gets real bad or something. Because that's all right.
Okay. We have a super chat about the bear. Stephen Tao said Bronny James wouldn't be the best player in this chat. I'm not sure he's wrong.
I'm pretty sure he's wrong.
I would drop step that kid to death. That kid would make me look like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Hard. Can y'all play that commercial where the chick farts? Yeah, he knew exactly which one. Yep, that's the one. It is. Sorry, no, you're right. Yes. Okay, good. All right, where is my log? The log.
Oh, yeah, we should probably tell you on the live stream, they can hear everything we say to each other. Yep,
they can. So don't curse. Or you can. It'll make you cooler. Just make sure you don't say anything that, get you canceled or us canceled. Here we go. It is ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy live on location. Parks Ford, Hendersonville, 601 Duncan Hill Road. Sitting around the, there are a lot of big trucks around here.
Yeah, one of them's ours.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, one of them we get to drive for like a year
because
because this is the greatest dealership in the history of
dealerships.
dealerships.
It's going to be awesome. Cannot wait. Parks Ford to Hendersonville. We are here again, 601 Duncan Hill Road, here till 3 o'clock. Come on by and see us. The American Red Cross is here taking blood donations as well, trying to help save some lives. There is a big need for type O blood donations now. So if you are type O blood, your presence is requested.
What type blood are you?
I think I'm a B. I think.
You
I think
could-
it was the only B I ever got in my life, but,
The
It's supposed to
only
be funnier than that.
well, the only time somebody has ever told me my blood type, it was 0.14, and it just so happened that I was in the passenger seat of the car, so it was all
Holy
fine.
Smokes! Sports freak Mike Morgan just walked into the building here.
An
So
actual-
we knew we were down here in his neck of the woods, so he was going to come on by and.
An actual sportscaster has shown up in the room. There's 3 people standing here. One of them is actually good at what we do, and it is not the two of us.
Wait a minute. What'd you do with that other headset? You moved the we brought the sign in here, and now you got to reach on the other side of that sign and grab that headset for me. Right here. Here it is. Right there. No, we're going to give you a headset. We're going to bring on the sports freak, the other sports freak, Mike Morgan. Yeah, you got to get closer because they moved their thing. All right. So, Mike, tell us, how excited are you? How excited are you about the basketball season now that Bronny and LeBron are going to be hooked up together?
Was that – I don't know if I like that or not, to be honest with you.
I don't like it.
I don't really like it myself, to be honest with you. I hate to say that, but it's just it's a gimmick. It's a media gimmick. I hope the kid does good. But, you look at some of the folks that are drafted, too, and I'm like, the Pittsburgh guys and the Virginia guys, I'm like, were they really that good last
That's
year?
actually how bad this draft class was. I'm not going to lie to you. At 54, the Boston Celtics, I saw a Boston number pop up on my phone.
Right.
And for about 5 seconds, I went, is it happening?
Are they drafting me?
I mean, I still got that drop step. I'd be the oldest player selected in this draft.
You can knock down a step back 3, I'm sure. Right. But as Chief Communication Officer for Henderson County, I had to stop by and say welcome to Hendersonville.
Well, thank
Always
you.
good seeing you. Brian texted, if you're out and about, swing by there. I was like, hey, coming home from lunch, let me run by there real quick.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
man.
It's great to see
you.
you,
Talk about
man.
sportscasters. They're doing a story on me for the 70th anniversary.
Really?
Going to air July 3rd and 4th. They came interview me at the radio station the other night. So, good old Marion boy turned sportscaster.
Nice.
Kind of life's come full circle.
The 70th
now I'm doing
anniversary of your life?
this. Not of my life,
No.
but WLOS has their 70th anniversary going on.
No,
Have you not been paying attention, Tank?
No,
Apparently
I've
not.
I have not been paying attention.
I also think he just inadvertently asked if you were 70 years old.
I did not.
And-
I didn't do that.
And, Mike, I'll just tell you, if you want to punch him in the face, if you just go over that computer, nobody will ever know.
I would not do that. Here I am.
Yeah.
Look, there I
Hey,
am.
there's
Hey,
Mike
there I
Morgan.
am. Actually, I'm here.
Yeah.
So.
Plausible
That's
deniability.
right. But no, it's good to have you guys out here, man. It's always good to see y'all too. I'm glad you're on now. It's a good time slot for you, but I miss coming in on Monday nights and seeing you guys.
Yeah,
that was always a lot
Our
of fun.
paths cross way less now.
Well, and you think about it, I've been there since either 2005 or 2006. I never can remember what year I really started doing the Sports Freaks. Of course, you were our longtime producer there, Tank, and God, we had so much fun, and still do today, and just love it, man. Because again, sports is my life, and you guys are great. I love listening to you. I tune in all the time out here, and it's good to have you in Hendersonville.
We appreciate it. Absolutely.
Yeah. Now that we have this lovely partnership with Parks Ford, we'll be here far more often.
Well, let me know when you're coming.
Did you see our sweet truck outside?
I did not see your sweet truck outside.
Oh, it's right beside the boss's office.
The big giant black.
Is that going to be yours?
F-250 out there?
Really? Yeah, that's the one we're
Thanks
taking
to
over.
Parks Ford.
Awesome. That is good stuff.
I don't know how we're going to get Tank in it. I think he's going to need a drop ladder at the very least.
Look, I've still got the step stool that I used to use for my grandma to get up into my SUV. So I can
squatty potty. We'll get you one of we'll get you one of those, and that's 2 for 1.
I got to call my sister. I bought her a squatty potty for Christmas. I'm not sure if she still uses it or not. Maybe I should.
I will make a bold prediction here about the NBA draft. I think Reed Shepherd may be the best player.
The kid out of Houston?
No, the kid from Kentucky.
The kid that went to Houston.
Yeah. My son's a big Houston fan. Loves the Rockets. And I think he's a nice – that they've been needing shooters for a while. Definitely a great shooter. So
I thoroughly enjoyed – he's without a doubt the best shooter in this draft.
Yeah.
The thing that I enjoyed the most was listening to Stephen A. Smith talk about people that I know for a fact could have walked into his office and he would not know who they were. I listened to him give a 2-minute breakdown of a player in the 20s, and I walked away from that, and the only thing I could think of was that line from Billy Madison of, "That is the dumbest thing I have ever heard in my life. At no point did you come anywhere close to a cognitive thought, and we're all dumber for having heard it."
Right.
Yeah, May God have mercy on your soul.
I award you 0 points.
Right.
That was great.
Best pick of the draft was the Los Angeles Lakers. Worst pick of the draft, Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
First
both
round, you
ways,
got the value of the draft in Dalton Connect falling to 17, and then you wasted the 55th pick on a player who is there for the photo op. Congratulations.
Exactly. Will he make the team? That's the question.
Yes.
Well, he has to.
He has to.
Yeah.
Oh, because according to Rich Paul, there were multiple teams interested in him.
Oh, wow.
Now, what he didn't tell you is that those teams were the Asheville Altitude, the Woodfin YMCA, and the SBYB All-Stars the under 12 team. That's who would have been really interested in Bronny James.
Oh, absolutely.
I have not talked to Brian Hall because Brian, my Monday night co-host, is a huge Lakers fan. He never responded back my text, what do you think about the Jameses, but he never got back to me.
I saw him this morning,
Yeah.
and it was one of those times of, I know what you're going to say, but I'm going to let you say it.
Yeah.
Because I walked in, I just stayed very quiet, and he went, I don't think I like the Bronny thing.
Well, it's one of those brilliant moves, too, because now we won't talk about J.J. Redick as the head coach. We'll talk about these two being teammates. So a brilliant move, too, by the Lakers doing that. So the heat's off of J.J. a little bit. Maybe.
Well, for J.J. had
for now. I agree.
See, we're taking the shine off of the whole J.J. doesn't have the temperament to be a head coach, right, because of his little gaffe that wasn't really a gaffe that everybody got upset about in the introductory press conference. So we're taking the shine off of that for a minute. But when it gets down to basketball, I mean, we're still not going to be talking about this. We're going to get the photo op at the beginning of the season, and then it'll never be mentioned again.
Oh, that's not even kind of true.
Really?
I'll touch on that in a second. JJ's had as good of a 24 hours as anybody that started this bad could possibly have. Yeah. Because yesterday afternoon, you have the Lakers take Bronny James, which takes the heat off of him. Right. And then you had the disaster that was last night, which means he is no longer the worst performance I've ever seen of a person with a microphone in their hand on stage.
Oh.
Because that
went away
that
quickly.
didn't go so awesome.
Yeah.
Mike's like, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
I'm just gonna shake my head. And say, how about them Hornets?
Yeah.
I do have to ask this since we got you, Mike.
Yeah.
The state of your Wolfpack.
You know, we're coming off the greatest time ever. I mean,
I would argue that this is the greatest 1 year that NC State's ever had.
Other than 83 and 74 when we won the titles, I mean, this is hands down. But I mean, 2 Final Fours, a College World Series, the football team. I mean, I'm getting excited about basketball now. That kid from Canada they just signed.
Yes.
We needed someone to back up. I think it's so funny. I think back to Keats and the Monday night of the Southern Conference. We played his drop, and we said that's the last time we're ever playing that drop. And Brian's like, he's got to go. And I even made a comment. I got a feeling we may make a run. I thought we could win a couple of games. I didn't think we'd win the whole thing. Mm-hmm. But football should be great. Really, seriously. Week 2, Tennessee and Charlotte. If State can win
we'll be there.
Week 4, if they can go into Clemson and win that one. They win those 2 games, they will play in the national championship tournament. Guaranteed.
Huh.
Because the rest of the schedule
so easy.
plays out pretty easy. Yeah.
Oh, Brian showed me the schedule.
Yeah.
I've never I didn't know that an ACC team could play 8 conference games.
Yeah.
And still have Little Sisters of the Poor, a culinary school. I'm pretty sure there was a school for the blind.
All within the conference.
And they're all conference games.
Exactly.
I'm not sure how you accomplish that.
And here's the deal: you got Grayson McCall, who definitely is experienced. So we don't have to worry about rolling some quarterback out there we're worried about. They've given him weapons galore. I think Jordan Waters, a kid from Duke, is going to end up being one of the greatest in Hollywood. Some others too. Again, just so many pieces. Defense is what everybody kind of worries about because we were missing a few pieces, but there was some depth there last year. We've taken care of that. Recruiting's been great. I mean, it's a great time to be a Wolfpack. I think that NC State stuff. I'll use the word stuff. That's not the word we've used in the past, but that other S word I'm talking about. I think that's passed. I think after the year we had this year, I think Wolfpack fans can breathe now. I could not be there last night. Brian sent me a picture from the little trophies coming around town. That was kind of cool.
They
were weird. I had to work late and I couldn't get out of here, and I've been sad if I got there and they were gone. So, but anyway, it was it's been a great year, and I'm excited. I'm excited for all sports. I think because basketball should be pretty good again. Women's basketball is going to be pretty good again. And baseball got to reload a little bit. But, baseball, goodness. I mean, every year, I've said it for the last couple of years, whoever's on the field when we play a game, I'm going to pull for those guys. I got no clue who it's going to be year in, year out anymore.
Right.
But Styles, I think, the kid from Carolina via Georgetown back to NC State, I'm liking him. I wish we'd have gotten him when he transferred to Georgetown. But the Wolfpack missed on him. And
now the question that I have to ask is that he is excited for football season, and I totally understand that.
Yes.
But you as a Carolina fan, you as an NC State fan,
yes,
does this not kind of feel like the mid-'90s where you go, hey, we're going to have a great year, but then we have to play that team that has the flaming spear and the horse, and that's not going to be a whole mess of fun.
Yeah. Well, but we won't have to do that till championship.
That was what I was talking about.
Yeah.
We'll be there, too.
Which is nice, yeah. So we'll
and I hope my team is there because this is set up for just a supreme letdown with DJ Uiagalelei.
Well, who was it? Is it Miami? Somebody's got like the easiest schedule. Is it Miami?
Miami's schedule is not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. And they're talking about how that's the team that, other than Florida State and I think NC State. And again, that Tennessee game doesn't really matter as far as the ACC goes. I think if State can still beat Clemson, they'll be fine. But if they can go into Charlotte, win that game, and then go down to Clemson. Because, again, Dabo doesn't like the portal, so we just got to beat a bunch of freshmen and sophomore. We'll be all right.
That's right. So. Dabo still does not understand how to use the transfer portal.
No.
He doesn't want to use it. I don't know if he doesn't understand it. He just refuses.
Because they can't nobody play for him but the guys he's already recruited.
I guess so.
Ain't nobody else in the country good enough to play on this team. That's exactly what he said.
I know.
And
so,
listen,
all right,
that's
so what
ridiculous.
you're telling me is that Dabo's theory here is that he needs guys in the system for several years.
Yeah.
And he doesn't like outsiders.
Yeah. Right.
That sounds like a cult. You
but
get that, right?
But this day and age, if you can get a junior, senior,
Democratic
fifth-year guy over a freshman, that's what people are doing. They're
Right.
taking the experienced kids, and that's why teams are winning. It's no different than Coach K refusing to take the one-and-dones, and then when he couldn't win anything, what did he do?
Well, guess
he
what?
started taking the
One-and-dones.
one-and-dones, he started winning again.
Yeah,
so,
now John Shire can only recruit one-and-dones.
Yeah.
If you're planning on being here for 2 years, I can't take you because I've already given your scholarship for next year away.
That's right. So.
Well, how long will they – the question is, will they let him lose long enough or come short? Right, I don't want to say lose because the hell he still was what they were 9-3 last year at Clemson.
Yes.
So it's not necessarily losing, but how many times we just get so far before they make you change, just like they did.
How many years are you not playing for the title and having a chance to go to a big bowl game? That's what it comes down to. He's going to win. They're going to win 9-10 games every year.
And they'll be in the playoff.
Oh yeah.
Right, they'll be in the 12-team playoff.
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
I think it's going to be hard for the ACC.
I think it's going to be hard for anybody in the ACC.
Mike said that NC State could be playing in it. I actually think it's if you had to give me a percentage chance of teams in the ACC to play in the playoff, I would take Florida State at probably 85%.
No doubt.
I'm not sure I wouldn't have NC State ahead of Clemson.
Clemson's I do, but I'm a homer.
Awful.
But
I was going to say.
I do, but I'm definitely a homer.
I was going to say he's every year. Mike Morgan says we're going 9-3 this year.
And in all honesty,
he tends to be right from time to time.
Come down to that championship and let State beat Florida State. Let the Wolfpack beat the Noles, and then both teams get in. So that'd be perfect.
We still need the home game.
I know. It's going to be. I'm excited. We're finally there. I'm glad we finally have an actual tournament. The first sport that we've needed it forever. The 4 teams were fine, but it's the same 4 teams every year until last year.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm so glad that, and they'll still be 13, 14, 15 will be the ones complaining, but that's okay.
I got to ask one
If you
question.
can't finish in the top 12, you don't deserve to go anyway.
I got to ask one question on the way out. I
What's
know
that?
you've got kids that are like college age.
Yes.
What are the chances that you end up playing college football 25? Tank and I are giddy with anticipation. We're doing the show from my house for 2 days just so I can beat his brains up.
Yeah, I know. Is it coming down to the PS4 or just the PS5? They're going to make a PS4 version of it?
I do not remember.
That's a good question because I've got a 4. My son has a 5, and he lives in Raleigh and is working down there now. I'm looking forward to it. I've seen some of the screenshots. They showed one of Carolina the other day holding that little Carolina belt. Did you see that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I looked at it. I was like, is that a real picture? I mean, it was so – I mean, I think back to Techno Bowl, man. I never forget when they did the cutaway.
Oh, the
where
blocky players.
You had the guy jumping over, and my buddy going, that is so realistic. And he looked back at it, no, it's terrible. Nowadays, they look like little people.
I know, and now some of the previews, the trailers for it, I have to like squint really hard to tell whether or not it's real.
DraftKings just did this on social media.
Yeah.
They posted 2 pictures of, I think it was of the Rose Bowl for Alabama, Texas. I couldn't tell which one was the real picture.
Right. Isn't that crazy?
I literally sat there staring at it going, I can't tell which one.
Listen,
real.
I've got the one on the PS3. I've got the old version. I've got the one that has who's on the cover? It's a guy from Michigan.
Or
Denard
Robinson.
I have that one with an NC State built team. You know, guys do rosters all the time. I haven't updated in a couple of years, but I think Devin Leary, that may have been one of the first years he was at State. He was my quarterback. And I used to still play that game. And that was a great game. I'm so glad it's back.
I played that until they came out with this one and said it was coming. Yeah. And then I physically couldn't bring myself to play it anymore. I went, I'm not touching a college football game.
Is it out? When's it coming out?
June 16th.
It's coming up pretty soon. Yeah. Huh. I should ask for that for Father's Day.
We're under 3 weeks away from the release.
Cool. Well, I got to run back to work.
All right, brother.
So. Good seeing
you.
Welcome. Harrison County would like to welcome the Sportsocracy to town. Glad you're here.
Appreciate you.
I'll check out the truck on my way out.
Yes, sir.
Sports
freak Mike Morgan. Of course, you can catch him on Monday nights on our sister station, News Radio 570, WWBNC, and of course the thing that actually pays him, being the public information officer for Henderson County. We are live on the road at Parks Ford, Hendersonville, 601 Duncan Hill Road.
We have a super chat. We can't hit the button because we're not in the studio.
Right.
But Stephen Westbrooks said The Bear is the best cooking show you'll ever watch, Jeremy. It has won multiple Emmys.
Yes.
I like cooking shows. But the last one that I watched was Paula Deen. So if that tells you anything about how long that has been.
I was going to say, you must not like cooking shows too much if you haven't watched one since then, because I believe that show's been off for like 6 years at least.
Yeah. Well, there were some reasons for that.
Is that why? Because you were hurt?
To be honest with you, I don't watch any of them that much because I look at the food and I go, man, that looks delicious, and then I go to some of these hoity-toity restaurants, and I'd rather have 3 hot dogs from Coney Island in Detroit because I'm a simple man of simple means.
All right, it is the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. Come on down and join us here at Parks Ford in Hendersonville, 601 Duncan Hill Road. American Red Cross is here as well, taking blood donations with the folks from Camp Do Good. So come on by and see us. We'll be here until 3. ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Thank you.
Okay, I'm like,
Kill Mike.
Oh, yeah. Jeremy, I'm Jerry Goldberg.
Very nice to meet you.
Work with Hank.
He's a good one. He keeps me in line.
Yeah, he is.
So Jerry was morning show host on 570 before a few years, several years before Mark. But I guess it wasn't several because Greg was there 2 years. Yeah, everybody's good. Hanging in there. 13. We're back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Live at Parks Ford, Hendersonville. Come on down. You need to. Is it your time to donate some blood? Where are you at on the last time that you donated blood, Jeremy?
I actually can't donate blood.
Really?
Nope.
Okay. All right. I get that there are some people who can't, but if you can, your blood.
I totally
is needed
would
at the moment. Okay. That's all.
Yeah,
good.
the medication that I took for issues I had years ago.
Yeah. Sometimes that's the case. If you are an eligible blood donor, though, and it's time for you to give again, you come on by Parks Ford, Hendersonville here before 3 o'clock. Come on by and see us. Say hello. You can come check out the new little wheels that we're going to be using for the Living the Dream tour.
Mike Morgan just saw it. He sent us a picture and said, "I agree. Tank is 100% going to need a step stool."
That's all right. It folds up nicely and slip it right back behind the driver's
I'm going to
seat.
get you a little. You remember that the cargo net they had on American Gladiators? I'm going to get you one of those, if for nothing else, because it will amuse me.
Anyway, you can come by and see us here, 601 Duncan Hill Road. Let's get just a bit outside here, Brian. I don't know why Brian. Excuse me, Brian.
Excuse me, Brian.
Where that came from, I have no idea.
I don't know.
Look, since we've been spending so much time talking about irrelevant basketball players, let's talk about a player that's actually relevant.
I thought you were about to take a shot at Brian Hall's basketball career. That's where I thought that was headed.
No.
That's bold. That's a bold take, and I can't distance myself
No,
away
we
from it
need
enough.
to, at least spend a moment talking about a player that's way more relevant than Bronny James ever will be, and that's Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark's got a new invitation to be involved in the Royal Rumble next year. Apparently, Bianca Blair. Is it Blair?
Belair.
Belair? Belair? I don't know. Anyway, Bianca, the one with the hair, right? She does the twisty thing. She, at the announcement that the Royal Rumble is going to be in Indianapolis next year, she has issued the invitation for Caitlin Clark to come join her at the Royal Rumble. They'll give her a spot. No kidding. You think? I wish that this would happen. I want to see it happen. Think Caitlin Clark could take a bump?
Well, my only question is the mainstream media going to complain that nobody watched the Women's Royal Rumble before Caitlin Clark?
Absolutely. They'll complain that they're being too rough with her.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh, she joined the Royal Rumble. Did you see how they slammed her down? It's racism.
Nope. Can't do it. My story is about the NBA draft. And if you thought that the Bronny James thing showed how absolutely irrelevant it was, I can do you one better. There was a trade yesterday during day 2 between the Dallas Mavericks and the New York Knicks. The Knicks gave up the 51st pick, which was Melvin Aginsa. You should, and I go back to Alex Aginsa here.
Oh, Alexi. Yeah.
Alexi Aginsa. You should try the Aginsa. It's a great dish. I had it in an Italian restaurant the other day. They got back the 58th pick, and they also got back a former first-round pick with cash considerations. That first-round pick was 2007 first-round pick, Petteri Koponen. That name doesn't ring a bell. It's because he's never played a game in the NBA. He's 37 years old, which is the same age that I am. He just had his hip replaced, and he's the summer league coach for the San Antonio Spurs. That's what they got for trading down 7 spots and $8. They traded for a guy who physically cannot play basketball. Koponen took to social media to say, "Thank you. I'm flattered, New York Knicks, but I think I will see out my commitment to the Spurs, although I do have the new hip."
I mean, does that what benefit is that? What little gap or box does that check on a trade for your organization to do that? Why would he even be included in the deal?
So I have the common sense explanation.
Yeah.
Which is the Knicks like stockpiling Eurostash pieces because you can trade them for nothing. Because a lot of these guys, even if they're drafted 5 years ago, they're never coming over here. So it does give you another piece that you can move. I don't think you're ever going to get somebody to give you anything for the assistant coach for the Spurs.
No.
Then I have my conspiracy theory, which is that was one of 2 international stashes that the Mavericks had, because you're considered an international stash until you officially retire from every level of competitive basketball.
Oh.
So there is a little part of me that thinks Leon Rose didn't know. He saw the roster, he didn't look at the year, and he went, yeah, just give us that guy. And the Mavericks went,
Okay.
yep, done.
Yeah. Well,
You got that. We'll do that. We'll send you, Lieutenant Dan.
but is it that? I mean, does he have like just a little spreadsheet that says these are the available
International stashes,
These
yeah.
are the available slots
Yeah.
that is
And
taken up by that team.
This is my conspiracy theory, is that he went in and he asked for, I think Dallas has 3. No team in the NBA has more than 6. The Knicks now have 11. I'm curious if he went, can we have that one? No. Can we have that one? No. The Mavericks went, well, but what about the other one? You want to take that one?
They went, sure. You can have that.
Yeah, that's still a living, breathing body. You said nothing wrong there.
I need him on record. I now need somebody to ask him that question and have him on record of, yeah, that I didn't know who that was.
We need to depose Leon Rose. Did you actually know who you were trading for?
Yes.
And it was just a funny. Or did you get completely had by the Dallas Mavericks?
Which I would say that's the other side of this.
28 picks
There
in the
again,
second
maybe-
round.
There again, maybe it just didn't care.
28 picks in the second round. Do you know how many of them were made by the team that they were actually allocated to?
4.
6.
Oh, so close.
All but 6 second-round picks were traded at some point. One of them was traded 6 times.
Yeah. Second-round picks just do not matter. There's not a lot of great value to them. Hell, we saw was that Cleveland? Was it Cleveland that traded Reggie Jackson?
No,
to
it
the
was
Hornets?
Denver.
Denver traded Reggie Jackson to the Hornets. They're dumping $5.75 million in salary, basically, but they gave the Hornets 3 second-round draft picks just to take him.
Yep.
We don't know what they're giving up or what they're giving back to Denver, but there will be something.
Cash.
Is it cash?
Yeah, it was
That's
just cash.
Okay.
They bought picks.
And see, this is why we don't care. This is why having a second night of the NBA draft and putting it on television was the dumbest idea possible. It's just like putting on regular season games. You have already shown us that you don't care, right? You don't. It's my same argument with the NBA. Stopped watching it because of the load management, and we're not showing up for games. You devalued your product. Now you've devalued the second round of the draft by just teams giving away these picks. Now why am I watching? If you don't want to be a part of the event, right? There are teams that just go, no picks this year. We're out.
I feel like this is a great time for me to say that the reason that I hate the NBA draft is that we still haven't figured out how to get the trades right. So we have these guys wearing hats with the little thing that says proposed trade to blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Or here's a wild thought. You could start your league year before the draft. Just a thought.
Yep.
Just a thought. You don't need to have your draft 7 days after the finals end. I mean, it's not like you're retaining the audience. I can't wait to see what night 2 of the NBA draft did ratings-wise.
Oh, it's going to be horrific. I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, if it loses out to like CSI reruns.
Old CSI
like
reruns.
old, yeah, like season 2 on the WB. Is that even still a thing? No. Is that the
That
CW
hasn't
now?
been a thing.
Yes, it is. When UPN was in there somewhere, there was been a
was a
lot of
UPN?
iterations of that extra channel. I don't know what. It's been a lot of different things. So it's what the CW now.
The C-Dub.
Yeah. What does better ratings, the NBA draft or live golf?
I'll go live golf, Bob.
I think you're going to end up losing that one, but
Oh,
I haven't seen a number on a live or
in terms of
lately.
retain number, well, live golf's dead. That was fun while it lasted.
Is it?
Oh yeah,
They don't do that anymore?
no, they still do it. It's just nobody watches it because they have a television deal where nobody can find it.
I was going to say, nobody watches it because it's on the CW.
I didn't hear a lie.
No. It's smashed right in between Saved by the Bell and Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
And that constant channel that always runs infomercials and still has one for the slap chop.
Indeed. We only have a few moments left in this hour, and so I'm not going to we're not going to bring up Kyle Filipowski.
Oh, no, I think we should. We still got 5 minutes. It's not that big of a topic.
Okay, all right. Kyle Filipowski. Apparently he's being groomed by his girlfriend.
According to NBA teams, yes. They were disturbed that his girlfriend was substantially older than him. And he didn't talk to his parents, of which I will say the same thing that I said earlier about Dabo Swinney. It kind of applies here, too. That does sound a little culty, but it's not.
It's not?
No.
You sure?
Is it a little weird? Maybe. But, I mean, do you really care that you're – as a 21-year-old guy, does it really matter that he's dating a 26-year-old girl?
No. What makes it weird is the fact that she used to be his babysitter when he was a teenager.
That just makes me want to walk up to Kyle Filipowski and go, fives.
Yeah. I mean, there's that part of us that would have been like, yeah, way to go, come on,
Yeah,
guy.
that's – you know what part that is? The part that all of you are secretly thinking right now, but you're afraid because either your wife or somebody would judge you.
No. If I was also a 16-year-old boy at the time.
My question would be
funny. As an adult now, I'm a 40-year-old man, and when I hear a story about a 25-year-old woman dating what was the difference? It was 5 years, so it would have been a 21-year-old and a 16-year-old.
Wait, so the older one's the girl? They were fine.
Oh, sexist.
Yeah, they were fine.
Come on.
That's not true, and you know it.
It does matter. It does matter. It makes it different. It no
doubt makes it different.
It makes it completely different.
Oh, yeah. If Kyle Filipowski was dating a 16-year-old girl, no shot.
Nope. We're done.
I did just learn this.
They would tell stories about him like they talk about Mel Hall from the Yankees.
I'm so glad you used that reference. Did you know Jerry Seinfeld dated a 17-year-old girl when he was like 40?
Yes, I did.
I did not know that.
I did.
I was doing a little prep for the Kyle Filipowski story. And first of all, I'm probably on the list now because I Googled older celebrities that dated younger people. Yeah, so I'm 100% on the list now.
Yeah, definitely.
But I saw the Jerry Seinfeld thing, and I went, how did no one talk about that? That was when Seinfeld was on. He went to her prom. He was 40, and she was 17.
This is kind of the same thing. So I feel like as a parent, I would probably be estranged from my child as well if he continued to carry on a relationship with his former babysitter.
I wouldn't be estranged from it. I'd be buying beers like, attaboy, I taught you well. My biggest question is, why did he have a babysitter at 16? Wow. Like, if you have a babysitter at 16, either you set fires or something's up.
See, and that's the thing. There were 3 of them, right? There's 3. No, he has 3 brothers, so there were 4 boys in the house. If I got 4 teenagers there, I want somebody controlling the situation. The problem is I'm not choosing the hot 16-year-old girl to do it.
Well, she was 21.
Oh, excuse me. The hot 21-year-old to watch my 4 teenage boys. That's probably not gonna. No.
It's not gonna end.
Nope.
Not gonna end your way.
That's an article to an adult magazine waiting to happen.
Anybody see the irony that he got drafted by Utah? Just me? I'm the only one.
Nope.
Oh, I'm the jerk.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
No big deal.
I mean, look. Once they've got you in the system, those Mormons, they.
At Sports Tank ESPN.
They're not letting you go for anything.
Opinions given by Tank Spencer neither represent Jeremy Greene or the Sportsocracy on the whole.
Look, we've all seen those shows on Lifetime. We know what that's all about.
I'm glad Parks Ford's really understanding of the two idiots that
This
they've.
could very well be the last time we're here.
I doubt that they like us a lot.
We got a 5-year difference between Kyle Filipowski and his girlfriend, and apparently, all the groomer talk is out there on social media because she has isolated him from his family and he doesn't talk to his friends. She is very attractive. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
Fives.
92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Take the top of the hour break. Back in 4.
Concurrent,
Yes.
yeah. And we'll come back at the top of the hour.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. Seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, join us in the chat. We are live on location today at Parks Ford Hendersonville, 601 Duncan Hill Road in Hendersonville. Right off of Four Seasons Boulevard. I'm told, Jeremy, you said this is the Hendersonville Auto Mile.
Yes,
they refer to it as that.
But I mean, there's only one dealership you should ever come to, and it's Parks Ford right here. You come see us, buy a car, have some coffee. Tank just brewed some coffee.
I did.
It was.
Did it work? Did it?
I mean, it made noise.
I mean, it did. Yep, there's coffee in that cup.
Okay,
It is the story though of the great missing K-cup.
Of all the things I've ever seen another person do, watching Tank try to operate this coffee machine, top 5 funniest things I've ever seen.
I've never seen a coffee machine.
I swear to you, I could have handed a Labrador a laptop, and I would have thought they had a better shot at cracking that thing than you did at getting that to make coffee.
Possibly. Look, it's got like a spring-loaded thing on it, and I put the little cup in it and pulled the thing down. The problem is my hand was on top of it, and it didn't go clamp all the way down. So then when I let it go, the thing sprung back into place. The cup was gone. I don't know where it is.
It was
It fell on the floor. It might be in the machine. I'm not sure.
I think it ate it. I really do. I think it ate it. I think there's a filter for you are too stupid to use this, and so it just ate the cup and went, no, you can't have it.
Although I will tell you, I mean, it did. I just put another one in, and it's fine. It works.
Now the question is, could he do that again? And I think the answer is probably no.
Well, I think there may not be room inside that machine for more than one K-cup. So if I do it again, we'll know. We'll know that it'll really break next time. Somebody's going to come into service of that machine, and there's just going to be a K-cup sitting in the middle of the inside of it going, how did y'all do that?
They'll go to JW and go, so somebody that's been in this room is a moron.
Ha, that's me.
And it's that guy right there.
Big moron right over here. But I'm a caring moron. And so that's why Parks Ford Hendersonville is a great partner for us because they care too. Parks Ford cares, and they are hooked up with Camp Do Good and the American Red Cross today, hosting a little blood drive in the showroom. So you can come by and not only check out the cool cars that they've got. There is a yellow Mustang outside this window that I just stared at during the break.
There's a green Bronco that I've been staring at since we got here because it's a pretty color.
It's pretty nice. Pretty nice. Come check out the stock down here at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Come see us as well.
I asked them if they would bring our truck over here so I could just stare at it, but Tank told me no.
Yeah, you want to come in and see us, say hello. We've got some swag here. We've got ESPN T-shirts. We've got Sportsocracy T-shirts on hand as well. We'll give you one of those. Maybe if you're not doing anything this weekend and you want to go up to Country Thunder at Bristol, I do have a pair of tickets that I will not be using that you can, go to the show. So come on by. 601 Duncan Hill Road, Parks Ford, Hendersonville, a proud sponsor of the Sportsocracy and helping us hit the road with our brand new vehicle from Parks Ford as we go on the Living the Dream tour with our good friends at Ingles Supermarkets as well as Dale's Pale Ale involved in the Living the Dream tour.
She's a beaut, Clark. She's a
beaut. She is a beaut. We'll be sharing out photos of the new ride. We still got some artwork to get put on it and everything for the for the tour, but it is we are so happy and thankful for the relationship with the folks here at Parks Ford.
They're just such great people.
Yes.
That was the thing that caught me is that they're, and I know barely anybody's name in here, and they come up and they know exactly who we are. They're so kind. If you're in the market for a new vehicle, this is a place that I genuinely feel like they care.
Jeremy, have you been following the antitrust case with the Sunday ticket thing?
I have, and my inner capitalist is going to show in this. You tell the story, and then I will disclose why I think this is really, really stupid.
Well, here's the thing. So for a 10-year, 11-year period, between 2011, 2022, the NFL kept jacking up the prices on the Sunday ticket in conjunction with DirecTV. It's the only place that you could get it You had to buy the satellite package to be able to have it. A jury in U.S. District Court this week has decided that that was violation of antitrust laws. That's gouging your customers. Which didn't we all say that as sports fans for the entire first years of the Sunday Ticket existing?
I have owned Sunday Ticket every single year it's been a thing.
Oh, are you getting money out of this deal?
They asked my dad if he wanted to be involved in the lawsuit, and his direct response was, no, sir, I don't, because that's what it cost. I wanted it. I paid for it. Oh, but it could have been cheaper. A lot of things could be cheaper. You ever heard of capitalism? You set a price, and if somebody will pay it, then that's what it's worth.
But if there's another company out there that'll give you a better deal, which was asserted in this case, was that there were other entities that would have given the NFL a better deal, but they cut them out.
No, they would have given the customer a better deal, not the NFL. The customer would have had this for cheaper. Okay, that means I make less money. Okay, I don't know in what bass-ackwards world we're living in that, well, you could have sold it for cheaper. Okay, McDonald's could sell cheeseburgers for cheaper.
But they don't.
But they don't. And you know why? Because money's good. And I have a product, and if you'll pay for it, then that's what it's worth.
$4.7 billion in damages is what came out of the lawsuit. Let's see, $4.7 billion to the residential class, and then another $96 million to the commercial class.
That's
so
who really
to
got
bars
housed.
And restaurants.
That's who's really got housed, because they get like what, $8 a piece. Do you know how much the commercial license for Sunday Ticket is?
It's a bunch.
Oh, you're talking 5 figures.
Yeah.
A place that has a lot of televisions, you're talking easy 5 figures.
That's crazy. But there again, you bring it in because it brings people in. Anyway, I don't know the ins and outs of this thing. I don't know antitrust law. I don't get much of this. The only thing I know is what they're telling us is that at some point the NFL could be liable for over $14 billion in damages, because in federal antitrust lawsuits, those penalties can triple.
Yes. What got them was the fact that ESPN was willing to do the single-team package, and you would have basically paid, I think what I read was it would have been roughly $100 a year, and you could have had your one team. That's what gets them, because fans clamored for that for years, and DirecTV wouldn't do it. Anytime the contract came up, it became a talking point, and they just put the kibosh on it. Well, now you've got ESPN saying, we tried. I'm not an antitrust lawyer. I don't really understand why this is a thing. I mean, I'll be honest with you. As a guy that I had it, like I said, I had it every year. And then when I moved out of my parents' house, I moved into my own house, and guess what I had as a television provider? DirecTV.
Yep.
Because they had Sunday Ticket. I'm a Jets fan, and I haven't missed a Jet game in ever. I think the last time that I missed a Jet game, it was legally acceptable for me to soil myself. So it's just what it cost. Yeah. If it was $300, it was $300. Then it went $500.
They didn't get a red cent out of me because I've never had Sunday Ticket, never wanted Sunday Ticket, absolutely refused to get a satellite dish. But I'm not that guy, right? I'm not that super fan that has to see every game that my team is on. I love the fact that I have the access to it now, but in years past, I missed games all the time, and I was never doing it. I was never playing that game.
And I had to.
What was that? I mean, that was like early '90s. That started
95.
95 it started.
I remember the day because we had the gigantic satellite dish in the yard. Yeah. You remember the you can hit golf balls into the satellite dish. We had one of those.
Yeah.
Then the DirecTV thing happened, and well, I mean, this is just how you have to get a football game. So we put that in. We did that forever, and then the big satellite dish became a chipping thing.
Yep. That
my dad would hit golf balls into. If anybody should be mad about this, it's me. I'm not in any way. I've never been mad about it. The only time I really got upset about it was when they started giving it away. You remember that a few years ago that they would give it to new subscribers?
Oh, yeah.
That made me angry. Okay, what do I get? I've given you $10,000. What exactly do I get here?
Right. I've paid $200 for this every year. And
I don't remember. $279 is the lowest I ever remember.
$279.
Yeah. And it went up to, I think the last year I had it, that was the year before we moved right above the porch. I want to say it was almost $400. And I paid it.
Mm-hmm.
I paid it.
The NFL, should it have to end up paying the damages on this, because they are appealing, but could equal out to $449 million, a little more than that, per team of the 32 teams in the NFL, which I feel like at this point that just kind of is okay.
For the NFL?
Right.
Oh, yeah. It would bankrupt the NBA.
The entire league.
No doubt.
The entire league's not even worth $449
They'd be passing cups around to the owners going, you got $1 million to spare?
All right. Well, I knew you were the direct TV guy. You were the Sunday ticket guy. So the fact that you're not upset about it makes me feel a little bit better. But apparently a lot of people were, and the class action lawsuit has ended up going against the antitrust lawsuit has ended up going against the NFL. And
I just don't get the thing I don't understand about antitrust is that you have the right to see these games. No, you don't. Because if you live in a city where the game happens and the game doesn't sell out, what happens? It gets blacked out. So you're telling me that blackout rules are not an antitrust violation, but this is? That math doesn't math to me.
Something fishy, and always has been, about we're only going to direct this one access to this one product through this one distribution platform.
Well, I mean, I guess the other thing I look at is that you get, let's say, I'm just doing the math. In the lightest week of the year, you get a Thursday night game. You get a doubleheader on one of the networks. Mm-hmm. You get an extra game on another network. You get a Sunday night game. You get a Monday night game. That's 6 of 16 games. I think I've gone above and beyond for you to be able to watch football. Mm-hmm. You may not be able to watch one individual team, but you don't have the right to do that. I mean, if you want to do it, then pay for it.
Yeah.
This just, to me, this feels like government overreach and a gigantic waste of time. And I hope it's knocked down on appeal.
Steve on in the YouTube comment says, in Los Angeles, people who want to watch either the Lakers or the Dodgers, they have to use Spectrum cable. Mm-hmm. They have to switch companies, which has caused all sorts of problems there, because that's the only cable company that you can use to get that, because they're on the Spectrum channels.
Oh, Sacred Time, things like that happen all over the country.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know what makes it different in this case, but I will tell you, ever since the late 90s, early 2000s, when this came about and I learned that this existed, it never felt right to me. It always felt like somebody's getting screwed here, and it feels like us.
Well,
and this jury has decided, yep, it was us.
Well, and I need to give a caveat to something. Stephen Tao in the YouTube chat said no game should ever be blacked out in the hometown. That's bull excrement practice. Mm-hmm. Other than that, agrees with me. I'll be honest with you, I don't think games should be blacked out in home markets. It's just that they are. Yes. And I know why they are. They are to encourage you to go to the stadium. They want you in the building. I think that's counterintuitive, and I believe we've gotten past that. We're to the point that, and I'll use Carolina as an example, we're affiliates of theirs. We're there a lot. If you look around, it's 30% at minimum away fans. Mm-hmm. It's that way in many markets in the NFL. Yeah. So you're leaving blackout rules up to away fans. That doesn't make sense to me. It made sense to me 25 years ago. Mm-hmm. It doesn't make sense to me now.
Well, if you really wanted to support this team, you'd come out to the stadium. That's always been the thought, and I think it's just a very antiquated way of thinking because we've come up against this, right? There are local schools in local broadcasting that won't allow radio people to come in and broadcast their games because they're afraid it'll hurt the game. They're afraid that the people who usually come out to the games, mom and pop who've been coming to games for 40 years because they live right down the street, that they'll stop coming if you put it on the radio. There are some people who still think that is the thing, that it'll hurt the gate if you put it on where people can see it. Again, I think it's an antiquated way of looking at things, because if I've got the money to go and I'm interested to go, I'm not opting not to go. Right? If I'm there, if I live 4 blocks away and I happen to have I don't even know what $65 or whatever the cheapest ticket costs these days for I'm trying to think of like the Benz Dome. Of course I'm going to go to the game. It being on television is not going to affect that.
Nope.
But we can't afford to go to your damn games anymore. Most of us, the normal people, right? The people who are all riled up about inflation and such that we were all, treated to during the debate last night, all that discussion.
He's bouncing around. He's bouncing around talking about me and not talking about me. Because I can afford to go to the game, but I'm still complaining about inflation. So I don't know. I don't know what amorphous third person I am.
No,
but
I'm talking about myself. Normal people who live paycheck to paycheck. I don't have that kind of money sitting around that I could just go to the game. And I agree with Steven. You should not lock out your local fans because they can't afford to go to the game.
I agree. Tao also said that it's just like us. He can watch us on YouTube and not on Twitch. If I thought there were people that would watch us on Twitch, we'd do that too. Mm-hmm. We will be coming back to Facebook for the NFL season, though.
Oh, okay. Good.
I had a meeting yesterday morning with a new little project that I will be doing that I will tell you guys about more about as time goes on. Mm-hmm. And I learned how much Facebook actually pays. Yeah, we're going to be back on Facebook. Yeah, we're going to do that. Holla if you hear me.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville live on the road. Parks Ford, Hendersonville. We didn't have to go as far for this one. We didn't have to go out of state for this little jaunt. We'll be doing more of this in and around town throughout the season as well. But Parks Ford, Hendersonville is where we're at today. 601 Duncan Hill Road in Hendersonville. Stop on by. Of course, we will be here till 3. The American Red Cross is here as well with the Operation Blood Drive, and you can come give blood, come see us, maybe pick up some swag, and we'll be right back right here on 92.9, 880, and 1400. Thank you. Why? But why? But why?
That tends to be the case anyway.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy is heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app, seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel. That way you can join us in the chat. You can join us live if you so choose for the next hour and a half or so. We'll be
here for a little while after that, too.
I'm sure we will be. But we're on the air until 3. And the blood drive lasts until 3 out here at Parks Ford, Hendersonville, 601 Duncan Hill Road. American Red Cross on hand, as well as Camp Do Good, as Parks supporting both organizations here today with the blood drive. They got a food truck out here as well. Jeremy was ogling it while he was in the parking lot.
I was.
And I'm just looking up here on the board. Apparently, throughout the summer, every Friday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Let's go.
They have a food truck on site here at the showroom, so you can come check out the cool cars that they've got. The big trucks, the 37-inch tires that we got on that new truck of ours.
Yeah, Tank's gonna need a hand.
I get a little step stool so I can get up into the let me try to fix my audio here, because apparently
Tank's a little quiet.
Apparently I'm just way too quiet. Is that better? Did that do anything for me?
I think you're making me louder.
Maybe I picked up the wrong one. Let's see if we do this. There we go. All right.
I was about to say, because all of a sudden I can hear myself breathing.
I got to reach around the sign here so I can jack the levels up on this thing. Anyhow, you can come by and check out Parks Ford, Hendersonville, here, 601 Duncan Hill Road. We will be here until 3 o'clock. All right. So I think we're all settled there.
And we're done talking about the NBA,
I don't want
right?
to talk about the NBA anymore. I'm done talking about LeBron and Bronny.
If I was going to talk about an irrelevant association, I would have chosen the WNBA.
I do.
It's at least more interesting.
At ESPN Draft Nerd.
You can at me. I don't care. You watch it, we'll talk. You watch one player.
Absolutely. Just waiting around for football season is just the biggest slog.
There's 2 seasons
this time of year.
There's football season. There's waiting for football season. There's no in between.
There's the draftmas season, and then there's the regular season.
And when we come back from the 4th of July holiday, we'll really be locking into fantasy football things. We will have the definitive rules for this year's battle for the belt.
Okay, I like that. Any changes you got in mind, or anything any twists and turns that you want to clue us in on?
We're doing away with the eliminator this year.
Uh-huh.
It was good in premise. It was really difficult in practice.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I had Michael Meadows, who kept me from pulling my mullet out at the root. But I'm not going to ask him to do that. This year, there will still be a season-long element, but there's going to be a lot of just head-to-head. If you want to get in 1 week at a time, you'll be able to do that.
Okay.
Still an advantage to playing every week, but it's not as much of an advantage.
Okay. All right. Fantasy football season right around the corner. In our discussions about fantasy so far, we talked about quarterbacks. I think we talked about tight ends for 27 minutes.
T.J. Hawkins. You want me to boil that down? Draft T.J. Hawkinson in the 10th round, and you'll thank me later.
And I don't think we spent any time at all talking about the running backs in fantasy football this year. I believe Saquon Barkley is my A1 since day one.
Number one overall.
He will be the one that I target. And because unless you're picking 1 or 2, unless you're picking in the top 4, you're not getting Christian McCaffrey.
That's a weird way to say the top 1.
Right.
Christian McCaffrey, you better be picking in the top 1.
I said, or Bijan Robinson.
You're probably be in the top 2.
Like, you're not getting anybody. You're not getting any of those guys if you're not picking real high. But Saquon's one that I look at, and I was heavy on it last year. And I think with the switch to Philadelphia, it's going to be the one that I'm heaviest on again.
So do you think that's an improvement?
Yes.
even with the committee that we know they're going to use.
I
They've done it every year.
Yeah.
Now, I will say Saquon's the biggest investment they've ever had. He's the best player they've ever had
of course
in this era. But, I mean, you don't worry about him losing touchdowns to Jalen Hurts.
Not necessarily.
I don't worry about it.
Not
but I feel
necessarily.
like I'm on an island there.
No, because I feel like there is a possibility of growth here. And at some point, they're going to figure out maybe we should stop letting Jalen Hurts lead with his head on the goal line. Right? That may not end up being Saquon's ball, but I'm taking it out of the hands of my quarterback. I'm not risking getting him hurt.
I agree with you.
And by the year, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. The more money I keep paying him, the less hits I want him taking. It's the Lamar Jackson theory, right? The Cam Newton theory. There's only so many hits I can let these guys take before it starts affecting them. And I went out and I spent money to get this guy. I spent big-time money to get Saquon Barkley here. And I'm not taking the ball out of his hands. I'm not doing the same thing with him that I have done with everybody else. Like
Doesn't
the
bother
same
you
thing
that
that
he's
I did
gotten-
with Miles Sanders.
Doesn't bother you that he's gotten worse every single year? His rookie year was the best year of his career. Not close.
Yeah.
2022 was the second best year of his career.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, it's been a regression every year. Last year, he averaged 3.9 yards a carry. And I get that was on a bad team with a bad quarterback. I'm aware of all of that. I guess my argument would be, man, it didn't really ever seem to bother Derrick Henry, did it? Didn't really ever seem to bother Christian McCaffrey. That's
What?
for bad teams in large part with bad quarterbacks. The best Derrick Henry ever had was Ryan Tannehill, which it was fine from a real-life football perspective. But, I mean, it wasn't like defenses were scared of him. I'm in like with Saquon. I also have this – this is a year where the more I look at guys that I'm intrigued by and rankings and things like that, I just get to a point of there are certain guys I know definitively I'm going to probably have on every team. T.J. Hawkinson being a great example of that. Because I am so much higher on him than everybody else. I'll take him a round ahead of anybody. There are other guys that I'm pretty confident that I'm not going to have him because I don't know that I could use the pick on him.
Right.
Like I'm just looking at rankings right here. Could I take Saquon Barkley over Kyron Williams? My answer is no. I've watched Sean McVay give guys bell cow reps every year he's been in the league. Kyron Williams, yeah, they took Blake Corum. To me, that's more of an insurance policy than it is anything. I don't think most people feel that way. Most people look at Kyron Williams and go, you invested in a running back, that's going to hurt the workload. The thing he did so well was optimize his touches, and he got a lot of them. I'm not worried about any of that. I get Sean McVay. I get an offense that has an older quarterback, only has a couple another really good weapons. Cooper Kupp. It's another guy. I'll go ahead and tell you. I'm going to have him in a lot of places. If I don't get Kyron Williams, you almost rest assured I'll get Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
Because where he's going is just insane.
What's his ADP right now?
As of right now, it's 40. And he's behind Devontae Smith. He's behind Amari Cooper. Explain that to me like I'm 4 years old.
Well, it's the rise of Puka Nacua, right? Puka Nacua is now the one, and Cooper Kupp's 31 years old. So
He is.
that is the argument of Cooper's going to start losing steps at some point. This is probably the year that the regression kicks off.
He's had 2 injury-plagued years in a row. He also had almost 2,000 yards the year before. So, I mean, I know that player's still.
Well, I mean,
in
that's
that.
such a that you think about that cyclical window, right? You are the number one guy for 1 year alone. That's at least the way it's been for the last several years. It was Devontae Adams, 4 years ago? It seems like forever ago. Michael Thomas was the number one wide receiver 5 years ago.
And then he forgot how to drink milk.
Right.
And his bones
Right.
became brittle.
But you see how quickly that can turn, and with every injury that a guy goes through, okay, you're 30 years old. Now you're back-to-back years with injuries that have been a problem, and now you've got a young hotshot wide receiver that's on this team. Yeah, I can see how he drops, and how the public will turn on that because you're not the hottest guy in the room anymore. So what's the value there? Does Cooper Kupp still have top-level value?
I mean, I think
At a third-round pick?
fourth round.
Fourth-round pick, fantasy football.
Middle of a fourth round. I mean, I guess that's where I'm at. And I feel like I do this every year, but this year it's significantly worse than it's ever been before, is that I just go up and down the rankings going, no shot I get there.
Yeah.
No shot I get to CeeDee Lamb going in the top 3. I'm not going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm higher on Breece Hall than what I thought was higher than most, and now it seems like I'm lower than most.
Right.
Because I was targeting him late first round, and I thought I'd get him everywhere.
No.
Doesn't seem like that's going to be the case.
No. He's gone within the first 5 picks most of the time. And then it all comes back to your build again, right? What's the best build? There are only so many elite running backs that I'm still stuck in that old school mindset of I need to start with a running back. Like if I'm picking
feel
in
the
the top
same way.
5, I'm not going wide receiver. Wide receiver's so deep.
And,
I don't need an elite guy.
And I agree. One of the things that I feel like people do wrong is not hemming up the running game.
Mm-hmm.
Not having the backup. Somebody gets hurt and you don't have the guy that fills in for it, because that's what I'm investing in. I look at, and I'll take your example of Saquon Barkley. I've never seen Philadelphia have a bell cow. I've never seen them, if Saquon goes down, do I feel absolutely must have Kenny Gainwell? No. Because Jalen Hurts takes so much of that work away. Mm-hmm. If Christian McCaffrey goes down, then Elijah Mitchell becomes the pickup of the week. That's what I'm targeting.
Yeah.
I want McCaffrey. I want Elijah Mitchell. I might even go all the way down to the third running back. Just depends on how much I believe in it. I feel the same way about the Jets. I feel the same way about the Falcons. But then I get into Detroit. That's another one I feel that way about. But then I get into Jonathan Taylor. Okay, if Jonathan Taylor goes down, do I really feel the burning urge to have the backup? No, because it would just go to Anthony Richardson. Okay, that means that's a problem with Jonathan Taylor too.
Yep.
Which is why I can't get there to him.
Yep.
I just can't.
Where is the line for you on the number one running back? Like,
I have to have one by
you have
blank.
to have a running back by the time who comes off the board. Like, who's the last one that you want as your one?
It would have to go really poorly. Sometime in the month of July, I'm going to explain how I basically count cards in fantasy football drafts, and it pretty much makes the decisions for me. Mm-hmm. In the years I've been using this, it's worked out all but once, and that was really awful injury luck. It seemed like I was getting the same guys, and almost all of them ended up hurt.
Right.
I would say probably, in terms of a true one, probably Kenny Walker. I probably could get to Kenny Walker and be okay.
Okay. So you'd feel good if Devin Achane was your one.
If I had Raheem Mostert.
Yeah, so you'd have
I'll take those two back to back.
Right.
And won't think twice about it. I think right now Achane's going beginning around 4. Mostert is going way lower than he should be.
You're still
72.
Scrolling. Good Lord, behind Zamir White.
I will take Raheem Mostert 2 rounds early just to make sure I have him.
Yeah.
Then I've tied up Miami. Okay, I'm good. Because they're going to put up 1 billion yards a game. Mm-hmm. Now, conversely, I look at Josh Jacobs. I don't put Josh Jacobs in that tier. He's ranked ahead of that practically everywhere.
Yeah.
That's 3 running backs, and they're going to use all 3. I'm good. I'll have him nowhere.
My line's a
If
little
this was
higher than
tender, I'd be swiping left on Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, my line's a little higher than that. I want somebody in like Joe Mixon. Like he's the last one that I would want.
I have Mixon behind Kenny Walker
as my number 1. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Too mouths to feed.
Oh, in Houston with the passing game.
One of the floors on Mixon was that he would get snaps, if not touches, because he was always on the field in the passing game. I'm not as sure that that's going to be how this goes.
Okay.
I think they may have a snap count in mind for him that is lower than the rest of us think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not saying I won't take him. There is a place that I will. I see people take him. All right, I'll give you an example. Would you take Alvin Kamara or Joe Mixon?
Alvin Kamara.
I agree with you, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that Joe Mixon's rated higher than him practically on every site that you're ever going to find.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't get there. So he's one of those that, I use my Tinder reference again. I'm not going to swipe left, but I'm probably not swiping right either.
Right. On Alvin Kamara as your 1.
Alvin I'd be fine with.
Okay.
He's one I'm going to have everywhere. Because if you're telling me he's going to be available in the 50s, first of all, I'm going to call you all morons, and I'm going to laugh very hard when I get him that late.
Right.
Ramondre Stevenson, same thing. If you told me those were my 2 running backs, okay. Do I love it? No.
No.
But I'm probably just dragging you down the sidewalk everywhere else.
Yes. I'm not saying that you can't make a build with anybody outside of it. I'm just not going to like it if I don't have somebody that's in that top 12-ish range of running backs. I want to have one of those guys, and I won't walk away from away from a draft without one of them.
I feel like July is going to be fantasy football month.
Yeah, which takes me away from a lot of the elite receivers. But because receiver is so deep, I feel okay about it.
I don't care.
Right.
I mean, I'll give me a random number in the 90s.
Let's go 94.
94 right now. That's quarterback. Closest receiver to that, Xavier Worthy. You're telling me there's not high enough upside there for Xavier Worthy that he's worth having as your 4,
right?
Which is practically where you'd be getting him there.
Mm-hmm.
Ahead of him is Jordan Addison, who I am in love with from a fantasy standpoint, not a real life standpoint. Rashee Rice, Deontay Johnson, Christian Watson, who I'm going to have a ton of. Specific reason for that, but we'll get into that as the month of July wears on.
Yep. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM at 1400. Take a quick break. When we come back, it'll be time to get weird.
Thank you.
and 1400. 601 Duncan Hill Road at Parks Ford at Hendersonville. Come on and say hello, and we'll show you our new wheels for the Living the Dream tour.
Our new whip, as the children say.
Is that like a drip? Is the whip and the drip the same thing, or is that similar?
Tank, how did you skip like the age that you should know these things?
I'm 40 years old. I don't know that.
That's old.
Whip
that's
is something-
old enough
whip-
that you should know.
Whip is something that I put on my pumpkin pie at Thanksgiving. That's
Cool Whip.
Yeah, can they put some ice on it too? I hear that that's a thing that the kids are doing. They're icing things out, which I like icing.
I don't
love
understand
icing.
how I am a member of the the hippest show sports wise. I think in the South, and yet I do the show with a grumpy old man.
That's you. That you do. But it is what it is. Okay, so we're supposed to get weird here, right?
Yes.
We're supposed to tell our
I
weird
was
stories
wondering
and
if you were going to tell one at any
Well,
point.
you know, I was trying to do the intro, and then we got down the rabbit hole because that's what we do. Let's go to, oh, goody. Here's a story from North Carolina that should make us all feel just warm and fuzzy inside. There is a kerfuffle going on in Selma, North Carolina, where a school resource officer, has been taken off the job. We can just put it that way, and is being investigated by the State Bureau of Investigation because this school resource officer, 26 years old, apparently sometime October, November of 2023, was working at Selma Middle School when a teacher walked up and said, "Hey, what's that on your hip?" And she's like, "It's a taser. I'm going to tase you with it." And the teacher said, "No, you're not." And then she repeated, "I am going to tase you with this." And then she tased her. Reached out and tased her right in the hip. Of course, the teacher was not too pleased about this and started whining and moaning and crying, and to which the school resource officer basically told her to rub some dirt on it and grow up. She said, "I have tased many kids in this school, and none of them put up a fit as much as you have just done." Wait, okay. I'm going to need you back up for a second. What did you just say?
Could you come again?
You've
for
been
Judge Fudge?
tasing students? What students have you been tasing? And then she said something that I'm not going to repeat because it sounds very racist-y the way that she said it. But anyhow, the SBI is now investigating after this school resource officer, Miss Tavares, used the taser on a teacher after she told her not to.
Have you ever been hit with a taser?
I have not, and I don't feel like that's the school is a good setting for that.
No. I will tell you that I had a friend at one time that carried one of those, and after enough domestic lights, you can convince people to do a lot of things, and might be somebody that people that watch this show and have been in the YouTube chat, might be somebody they know. And they got Bill Goldberg'd by me. Just, and I laughed, and I laughed, and I laughed.
Wait, you used his taser on him?
Mm-hmm.
Willing? Like, you convinced him to let you do this?
I'm very convincing.
Or did you assault a police officer?
No, I got him to say out loud, "Hit me."
Well, as long as he was in on it.
Hit me. And then the next thing you knew, it was... And I laughed until I almost defecated on myself. And there is a video of it, which I will still laugh at to this day. Mm-hmm. Speaking of video, my weird story is about the College Baseball World Series shown on ESPN. Mm-hmm. A lot of, baseball has a lot of downtime. Well, in the downtime of one of the games, ESPN showed some B-roll. That's what we call it. When you show things that don't really have anything to do with the game itself, you're just showing sights and sounds from around the stadium or around the city. Well, what they showed was two young girls that they're quite pretty girls, and they were enjoying an ice cream cone. ESPN's cameras stayed on them for 22 seconds, as they enjoyed their ice cream cone, and you can assume where the internet took that.
I was going to say, you should, and before you go, wow, 22 seconds. Sit down and count 22 seconds out.
22 seconds is a long time.
Long time.
It's a long time. One of the girls has commented, the video has received millions of views on TikTok.
Okay.
She said it was a 20-second segment of just us eating ice cream or licking our ice cream. 20 seconds dedicated to, with commentary, just our eating our ice cream. We all knew what direction that video was going to go in. And lo and behold, the creeps of TikTok got a hold of it because we woke up getting compared to our old friend, old AJ Hawk Tua Tagovailoa. Who is surprised by that? Now, here is my question. Do we, as journalists, have a responsibility to not show things like that because the jackals of social media will take it and do nefarious things with it?
Well, first off,
I
am a cameraman. I am a director. I am not a journalist. So,
man, you're gonna be way too right about this, and I wanted you to be wrong so I could yell at you in public.
So no. See, I'm picking this up. I'm kind of going off of the of one of the greatest miniseries that I've ever seen, which is the Who Killed WCW miniseries from the Vice channel.
That show has gotten more free love on this show than practically anything in the history of the show.
Well, here's the thing. I immensely respect Eric Bischoff. I think he is one of the more brilliant men in the television business.
I would agree.
That's exactly where I was going with that. I'm in the television business. And I'm not in the sports reporting business. I'm not in the journalism business. The people that are putting them on the screen, I'm in the TV business. And if that's the most exciting thing going on at that baseball game,
which it
then
was,
I don't really care.
Which
of
it
course
was
because it was a baseball game.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen 11 seconds of action, and then I spun the camera and went, "That's the most interesting thing I've seen all day."
Yeah, we're going to leave it right there.
I'm going to take a slightly the same tact, but I'm going to explain it in a different way. Do you know who John Reap is?
Yes.
Okay, John Reap is a comedian that I opened for a few times. I like him a lot.
That's the high-pitched talking redneck from Hickory?
Let me talk on it. The Hickory.
Yeah.
That's the Hickory guy.
Yeah.
Sorry, I gave the punchline to the joke that I'm getting ready to tell. He had a joke years ago about people talking on cell phones. And they would talk very loudly, and he would just stare at them. And they would ask, "Can I have some privacy?" And his response was, "No." You know why? Because you're in public. And public is the opposite of private. So anything you do in public is possibly going to get caught on camera, and that's not our fault.
Yep.
I thought you were going to be way more, well, it had nothing to do with the game, and we should have known.
No. I'm trying to keep an audience engaged, and that's the best way to keep a baseball audience engaged is by showing them things that aren't baseball at times.
And that particular clip kept them engaged, but they added an R in the middle of the word.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this
Boom.
is ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. The Sportsocracy on the road today at Parks Ford Hendersonville here for another hour. Come on by and see us, 601 Duncan Hill Road. Come check out the showroom, and if you're so eligible and willing to help out the community, come on by and donate blood here with the American Red Cross. We will be right back. It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy. Seen everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel. We are live today on location, Parks Ford, Hendersonville. We've got us a nice little. This feels like a nice little office here in the showroom. They've got. Normally, I would imagine that there are cars and things in here, but they've got all the tables set out for the blood drive. American Red Cross is here.
I will tell you that
good.
As a guy that sold cars, they do that way less now than they used to.
Putting the cars in the office?
Yeah, because do you know how big of a headache that is?
Oh, I can
You have to take the doors off.
Mm-hmm.
That was for the year I sold cars. Showroom movement day. Oh, my God.
Hated it. I can only imagine.
Well, because I'm also so neurotic, and we would be the ones that had to move them in there.
Oh, yeah, somebody's
and
scratching that car.
And I'm telling you, you're talking about a really narrow pathway with some of those cars.
Mm-hmm.
I had to put a Nissan Titan in the showroom. And when I say I probably had maybe 6 inches on each side, I was like, if I ever get out of this, I'll never do it again.
Yeah. I don't think you're. I'd be surprised if they could get that 250 in here. That's a big old sucker. The new vehicle that we're going to be taking with us on the Living the Dream tour, thanks to our good friends here at Parks Ford Hendersonville. We got another hour here. Come on by and hang out with us. They got a food truck outside. We're getting some food in here as well. Thanks to JW and the crew here at Parks Ford Hendersonville that are taking care of us.
They've been so good to us.
Yeah.
I cannot emphasize that enough. That is one of the beauties of how we operate, is that we're simple fellers, and we have a handful of sponsors that we really believe in, and that really believe in us, and it's one of the coolest parts of this job is meeting guys like that are just so good for the community, so good at what they do. We were just in his office. He's got a whole board of things that we're going to have one of those for the tour. It's just I absolutely love the guys here at Parks Ford.
Mm-hmm. And 601 Duncan Hill Road again. Come check out the showroom. And every Friday they're going to be having a food truck down here all throughout the summer. So come on, stop by. Tell them that you heard them here on ESPN Asheville and the Sportsocracy, so that they'll know how much you love them. You love doing business with them as well.
We have a request.
What is that?
From Notorious B.I.G.
Okay.
Can we please put Bronny on conversation probation starting today? I feel like I unequivocally can answer that, and that is a yes.
Yeah.
A, we don't talk about basketball that much anyway. B, we only really talked about it to make fun of it. C, you know what? We will take him off of conversation probation when he scores more than 2 baskets in one game, which means we will never talk about him again.
Don't want even to get any cheapies
in an NBA game. I don't care how many you score in the G League, bro.
Yeah, they're
I think I could average 14 points a night in the G League, so calm down. I'd give up 50, but
I was going to say the defense won't be hitting on too much.
I'm the Dalton Connect of the G League. Let's go. Hashtag team gets mine. Never seen a shot don't like, and I'm guarding nobody.
Just fire away from 3. That's all you need to do.
And I can't dunk anymore, so at least I don't think I can.
I'm going to say no. I don't think you still got the hops.
I could dunk pretty comfortably up until a few years ago. With the back now, because I'd come down and be broken in half. I'd have to just hang on the rim and then ease myself to the ground. Yeah, you're probably right. I probably can't dunk anymore.
Yeah, I don't think you can. I was never able to dunk, so somehow I don't feel like I missed out too much.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was phenomenal.
And no, you setting up a ladder and hanging off the rim is not.
I used to feel like the big dog when I'd bring the adjustable down to 8 feet and just put on the old slam dunk competition.
Okay, if you're going to tell that story, at least be honest. It was 6 feet.
It was
okay.
6. I mean, sometimes when I was trying to do the Vince Carter with the elbow, I had to bring it down 6 feet for that one because I couldn't get.
Well, I mean, you're only 5'4", so I mean, 8 feet that's still up there. And I've seen you jump, which is not all that impressive.
I can clear a phone book.
A Fletcher phone book,
yes. Very small town. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Not a whole lot going on in the world of the NFL. We had the Sunday ticket thing. We talked about that earlier on the program. The antitrust lawsuit. NFL loses. The jury finds for the plaintiffs in the antitrust case. NFL could be on the hook for paying over $14 billion in damages due to gouging customers for an 11-year period. On the Sunday ticket deal that was only available through DirecTV. The fantasy football season is underway, which, by the way, I got my invitation today for the Scott Fish Bowl.
Man, you were late to that cause, weren't you?
Well, you asked me. You said, "Have you signed up?" And I went, "No, I hadn't signed up. I mean, I played that a few years ago, but I hadn't thought about it since then." So when you said, go sign up, I went and signed up. And apparently they've decided now that it's time to let Tank play.
Yeah, Tank's allowed in. There's 3 spots left nationally. So either we can fly him to Boston.
Yes.
Or
which I'm all for it.
We'll take a cattle car to Bismarck. I don't even know what state that's in. North Dakota?
Yeah.
I said that, and then I started thinking, like, don't say the wrong state. Because if you go Bismarck, Wyoming, you're never recovering from that.
That'd have to be Casper, Wyoming.
Somewhere Josh Allen used to play.
Yes. So anyway, Scott Fish Bowl will be the first stop on the Living the Dream tour coming up on July the 13th. Cabarrus Brewing down in Charlotte. Jeremy will be involved in the live draft there for the Charlotte group. He will not
got some good bros in that draft too.
Yeah.
That chat has been lively.
Nice. He will not be hooking me up with the airfare and such to go to Boston for the draft, which, I mean, I feel like he's just being selfish on this one, but
she's not in the budget, Tank. I mean, now if one of our lovely sponsors would like to send you to Boston, I mean, I'm not going to ask them.
Hey, go ask JW. It's not like they haven't done enough for us already.
He would. He's such a good dude.
He probably would.
He's such a good dude.
No doubt about it. I got to check the old Red Sox schedule. That might
let's sync up.
To go. Yeah, there might be a Red Sox game that day. It would all fit into the schedule, and everything would just be meant to be. Really. Anyway,
I mean, are we going to argue about our golf handicaps now?
Oh my gosh!
I mean, the two potentially that could, and I used lead very loosely here. Lead our country did that last night.
Oh my god!
By the way, if you believe either one of them is a 2 or 6 handicap, I got a bridge to sell.
Is that what Trump said? He was a 2?
He is, according to the app, he's a 2.5.
What app?
There's an app that you can plug in your scores and things, and it will figure out your handicap
you
for you.
Plug in your own scores?
Of course you can. You're beating me to the punch here.
That's the problem. One of my favorite lead-up articles that I read yesterday about the, everybody had their drinking games, right? Everybody likes to talk about the drinking games for the debates and such.
Yeah, I made one fatal flaw there. Every time Joe Biden doesn't finish the sentence, you have to finish your drink. I actually legally died at 9:14 last night.
I was going to say, within 14 minutes of that thing, you were done because you had to drink 6 drinks on that one.
I just wish I could make that noise. Control Alt Delete.
One of the drinking games was if Donald Trump brings up his golf score, you take 4 shots, but you only write down that you took 2 shots.
That's pretty good.
Because that's
pretty good.
I mean, that's how he wins. When he's talking about winning. I've won 2 club championships at your own golf course.
Yeah,
sir.
Where you told everybody they would be fired if they didn't.
I mean, we have no doubts that in a head-to-head golf matchup, Donald Trump would win that because Joe Biden would not be able to drive it further than 25 yards.
Well, he'd probably forget what the ball was. But what's that mushroom down there on the ground?
Pick it up, Joe, and eat it.
Oh,
hope you don't choke on it.
I don't know why I impersonated him as what's the guy's name in It's a Wonderful Life?
It's Jimmy Stewart.
Oh, Dad.
Oh yeah.
That was a question I asked last night. Whoa, what?
I spent as much time watching that as I did the NBA draft both nights. I saw 0 seconds.
I
live
didn't
on
watch
both
any of it
them.
live. So last night I did that thing that I'm not proud to say I do a lot of. I don't want to watch this event, so I'm just going to do nothing but watch the highlights on Twitter, and that did not disappoint.
No, the highlights were out there. That was wow.
If that's the best we got, we are LMNO screwed.
Many of us have felt that way for about, I don't know, 16 years now. But that's neither here nor there. This is the Sportsocracy, the Democratic Republic of Sports.
It's got ocracy in it. People expected us to at least bring it up today.
It is the biggest thing to talk about because the other big thing to talk about would be the NBA draft, and we've already covered that.
Yeah, we're good. I'm good.
Too much.
I have an idea for that, though.
What is
we
that?
should hold the NBA draft every 4 years, just like we hold presidential elections. Then it would at least be interesting.
Then you might have enough talent to actually fill a
Yeah.
draft.
Instead of trading for coaches from the Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a thought.
Sounds like a great idea. Honestly, it does. I am going to be very interested to see what that number looks like.
Have we had a number come out on that yet?
I have not. I have not seen any reports of what a TV number on the NBA draft was like. I don't feel like that. I don't know if
I got one.
did it register enough?
Yeah, I got a number.
What was it?
This is for the first round. I don't have one for the second round yet.
Right.
And I've got the average number and I've got the peak number.
Okay.
Guess the number.
The average number was 1.7 million people.
Higher.
Really? Was it 2.4?
Higher.
No way.
4.41.
That's a lie.
It's on ABC.
Lie, sounds like.
It's on ABC.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I had no clue.
It was simulcast on ABC. So that's how and I should have known that, is that when you have the broadcast channels, it jumps up. Now, here's where you know that this is a misleading number. It peaked at 5.5. It averaged 4.4, but it peaked at 5.5. That tells you that that's just people had their television on. Because you get that electronic sensor with Nielsen, that's totally misleading.
Yeah, no, that sounds like sounds like an over-exaggeration there. You're trying to convince me that the NBA draft did like NBA Finals numbers when there was no one in it that we knew.
I think we have to. We don't have the breaking news drop. That might be the most impressive thing I've ever seen.
What?
JW just carried in 3 full plates of food and 3 drinks. He went full every pocket and had the phone in the that's service with a smile right there. That is a man that you should trust with all your automotive needs.
Yes.
And everything else.
Yes, sir. We are live again at Parks Ford, Hendersonville, 601 Duncan Hill Road. Come join us here in the showroom. Be here until 3 o'clock on the air. The American Red Cross on hand as well, taking blood donations. Just another reminder, if you're out and about, you're on your way home, or you're out at lunch or whatever the deal may be, and you're in the neighborhood, drop on by, especially if you have type O blood. There it is, a dire need right now in our area for type O blood. So if you can give, come on down here to Parks Ford, Hendersonville, 601 Duncan Hill Road. We'll take a quick break, and we will return here live on the road with the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy on the road today out at Parks Ford, Hendersonville, 601 Duncan Hill Road. We'll be here up through the end of the program, so still plenty of time to come on by and see us. Make a blood donation as well if you can. Jeremy, as we head into the fantasy football season.
No, you're not going to give the love to those who just fed us?
Well, I mean, I didn't finish it yet, and so I'm still.
What do you not? I mean, do you think it's going to get worse? Because for me, I crammed down 2 chicken tenders and half a plate of fries, and it got better as I was chewing.
It was very good. Absolutely.
Heidi Ho on the go
Heidi
is the food truck, and I need to before she leaves, I need to ask, what would it cost to get you to just park in my driveway?
Yeah, I don't know. That the batter that is on the chicken tenders.
Beer batter chicken. It's like fish batter.
Yeah.
And it's out of this world.
It's
good.
like the best breading for a fish and chips that you've ever had.
Yep.
On chicken tenders. Never thought about using that. Never seen anybody selling that, but that is phenomenal.
Brilliant. I mean, I literally all right, so how much would it cost for you to just park that truck in Reynolds Village and you just pick it up? We have to take it places, but I can come down all hours of the day and just get you to make me some of this.
Just to feed your face.
Those are fantastic.
Yes. Thanks again to Heidi Ho on the go for the chicken tenders. Very, very good. And they are
Even
here
though
at,
Tank stole one of my honey mustards because he's a thieving individual.
We each got one of every sauce. You don't get all of the honey mustard just because you exist, Mr. Entitlement.
But I should, though.
Listen here, I set up this deal.
Listen, I'm a millennial, technically. I don't accept that, but
Neither do I, and I'm considered one as well. So,
are you really?
I am. Some consider 1982 as the first year of the millennial generation, and I am not a millennial.
Dude, you just show up to whoever it is that decides those things, they'll go, all right, 82's out. Because that's a baby boomer if I've ever seen one.
Right? I don't even know if I qualify for Gen Xer at this point.
I think Tank served in World War II. I don't know how that's possible since he was born in 82. You are the oldest 40-year-old man I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, that is. I hear no lies.
I am excited with our sweet F-250 from here at Parks Ford.
Indeed.
We have a place to hide your rascal that you can ride around at the grocery store when we are on the road.
You know, one of these days, I'm really going to do nothing about your abuse of me.
I was about to say, how are you going to finish this sentence?
One of these days, I'm just going to sit here and take it without
one of these days,
about it,
I'm going to go to the bathroom and cry to myself because that is
Jeremy hurt my feelings. Have you heard about the new AI Michaels?
Yes.
I am not pleased at this at all. This is seriously, this is the problem of our times. This is what I need presidential candidates to be up on the stage debating.
Just not those two.
No. I'm not talking specifics here. I'm just talking this needs to be a discussion, one of the most important discussions of the next generation here and policymakers. We cannot have this going out of control any longer. AI has to be reined in, and the things that computers can do with sound manipulation. Okay? Al Michaels is going to be doing, his voice is going to be doing Olympic updates throughout the Olympics this year for Peacock. And they're using AI to generate Al Michaels' voice. I listened to this earlier today, and you can't tell that it is a computer that is making the sounds and not an actual person recording it. And as a broadcaster, it absolutely terrifies me because at risk of getting in trouble here, in our business, there are people who make decisions based on budgets. And when those budget decisions get made, there are many of us on the production level that get cut out of things, right? we have had so many jobs disappear in the broadcast business that AI is a direct threat to all of our jobs. Me and you, to everybody that works for an iHeart or any of the competitor companies, any of that. Artificial intelligence and voice manipulation could be the end of so many careers.
Well, I mean, I don't think you and I are in danger because a computer would struggle to come up with the stupidity that comes out of our mouths.
This is true.
That is organic content right there, and it comes straight from in between these two ears.
This is true. Look, I have no problem. NBC or and Peacock, they're not doing anything wrong here. Okay?
That's the problem.
Al has given his okay, right? I'm 79 years old. I'm not doing doing all of these 1-minute reports for you for your Peacock. But you can use AI-generated voice to use my voice. As long as he's cool with that and he wants to use it, I'm cool with it. The problem I have is the path that we're going to go down by some companies who want to be able to use AI to avoid paying staff.
Well, there's a really easy solution to this, that we need to get a lot of backing from the federal level, that people like you, people like myself, we own our vocal note.
Yep.
We never really had a problem with this. You know, if you and I record something, we own that. So, you know, Joe Blow can't use what we recorded because we recorded it. Mm-hmm. Now, you can generate my voice, and there's not a whole lot that I can do about that. That's where we need to fix this. You know, we own our faces. We own our fingerprints. We should own the fingerprint that is basically our voice note, because that's our vocal footprint.
Yes.
The thing that scares me is how many things have a vocal fingerprint. You know, banking apps and different things like that, they have vocal notes like that. Mm-hmm. So this needs to be reined in quickly. I use AI a lot. A lot of the things we do on this show are AI generated. If you watch us on YouTube, the keywords and the descriptions and things like that are generated by AI because it knows how to write them better than Tank and I do. So we pay for a service that does that to make sure the most of you see what we do. That is an acceptable use. This is a terrifying use.
Yes. Again, I'm not saying they're doing anything wrong.
Nope.
But
legally right now, even if Al did have a problem with it, they're still not doing anything wrong.
Well, for now. Until a court decides that. And that's going to be decided soon. Hell, Scarlett Johansson is in the middle of one of those fights right now. She was approached by, I think it was a nonprofit or something. A nonprofit approached her to do some PSAs for her, and she didn't want to do them, and they went, okay. So then they created a PSA using an AI generator that sounds exactly like her. And she's involved in a lawsuit over it right now, and that, I'm telling you, it does. It absolutely terrifies me that we are in a time where, I mean, computers every day in every sector of life and every sector of business, right? They are cutting costs to be able to do things the cheapest and easiest way. And I just fear for the future of broadcasting that without you, the listener, raising concerns about this, more people are going to try to do it.
If you give people a corner to cut, they're going to cut it.
Are you inclined to listen to a long-form program that is just an AI computer talking about the sports of the day?
I would say no.
I would say no as well. And look, maybe I get I'm being a little hyperbolic here. I'm going a little far down the rabbit hole here. But once you open the door to this use, then
it's hard to close.
Exactly. I mean, that's
we're
why
in front of it right now. It's really hard to close.
Right. That's why corporations like the one we work for iHeart, they have strict guidelines on the things that we can use AI for when we're doing our jobs. It's going to get out of control. I'm telling you, it's going to cause more problems as time goes on, and this is going to be the next big fight that we have as far as broadcasting and content generation is going to be the AI fight.
Saf in our YouTube comment said, "What's scary is people manipulating your voice in criminal ways, leaving the public to assume it's you." Mm-hmm. That is why this has to be regulated. Like, this has to be a thing that I cannot just. Not only is it criminal, but I can actually pursue you civilly for what you do to me, because people, and this is going to sound like I'm taking a shot, I'm not. People are so uninclined to fact check things that they'll see it on Facebook and you'll be the guy that said blank for the rest of your life. And until that happens, we all have a little bit of risk that it is bothersome for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, just Al Michaels, you will be hearing his voice on the Peacock throughout the Olympics coverage. Again, I'm fine with just the 1 minute little updates that they're going to be recording. Fine. It's when it gets into anything like that. Like, I could see us living in a world where in, I don't know, let's say 2030, if this doesn't come under control, then maybe we're still playing Monday Night Football, but it's no longer going to be Joe Buck and Troy Aikman in the booth. It'll either be Joe and Troy's voices, and the computers are running things, or, hell, they'll just go back to doing Al Michaels and John Madden, or bring in Pat Summerall's voice, or whatever. We'll take the greatest broadcasters of all time, and you let the computers do their voices, and that'll cut out the future of broadcasting, which, as a broadcaster, you can see why I would be upset. That this might be the path that we end up going down. AI Michaels is going to be the new star of the 2024 Summer Games. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, live on location today, 601 Duncan Hill Road, Parks Ford, Hendersonville. Come on down and see us when we return from the break. It will be time for the most important message of the day.
Thank you.
That's easy. Less of a chance you're going to make your fool out of yourself on that game.
No doubt.
I mean, unless you're, unless you get a little too far down the path and then you trip and spin the wheel too hard or something, and it.
Well, I
don't think of any way that you can really screw that up.
Oh, on The Price is Right?
Right.
Oh, no.
It's such an easy game.
Oh, no. There are many ways. I always just felt like The Price is Right was the easiest game to win. You get into contestants row. Hey, I want to pick last. The guy that wins next to me wins. $1, Bob.
Oh, you play the $1 game?
$1, Bob.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah. No, don't. It would definitely make the experience more fun, but you can watch it while you're doing your crimes.
I
but
apologize.
Don't do your crimes and go.
I apologize. I did crimes. To the listeners on YouTube, I forgot to turn the sound back on.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, see, I have to turn the sound off so you can't hear everything we say with Thomas, who's producing for us. And, Thomas is not used to the shenanigans. So we wanted to make sure he was comfortable and not saying things that would get us all fired.
Yes.
Tank and I do this every day because when I'm from Mullet Manor, you can hear everything we say. Mm-hmm. So I've been turning it off in the breaks, and, I forgot to. It's one thing to turn it off. You got to turn it back on.
Yes, indeed.
It doesn't turn itself back on, Tank. Just because I hit the button, it's still turned off.
Yep. All right, we are live on the road to Parks Ford Hendersonville, hanging out 601 Duncan Hill Road. You in the market for a new vehicle? Come on down and see JW and the gang. They will hook you up. Proud sponsors of our Living the Dream tour. Just a few short weeks, and we are going to be hitting the road pretty much every weekend during the football season, going to all the biggest games in the Southeast, hitting up some NFL games as well, and taking you as close to the action as we can get you at all of those contests. Follow us on all the social medias at the Sportsocracy, so you can follow the tour live.
Oh, and you really want to be following us on social medias because the debut of the truck will be coming this weekend. I can almost see it. It's around the corner, and I know that in just a handful of minutes, I get to go sit in it.
Yeah,
and it becomes real. We have that.
That's right. In conjunction with our partners here at Parks Ford Hendersonville, as well as Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. And our good friends at Dale's Pale Ale are going to be making sure that we're outfitted well for this tour as well.
I do have a question, though. Did we, and Jessica Fuller, one of our great salespeople, actually the sales director of iHeart Radio Asheville, is sitting right here in front of us. Did we think about getting a phone book for Tank to sit in? Because getting him into the truck is going to be hard, but if he ever has to drive this thing, he's going to need like one of those extender foot things. Because I'm pretty sure your feet are going to dangle off the bottom of that seat like a little kid eating his chicken nuggets at the dinner table.
I'm not as short as you claim I am, but
you're not as tall as you think you are either. I mean, it might be a sweet honey hole in between those two things. Somebody in the chat earlier said they asked how tall I was. I think it's Ches.
Yeah.
And asked how tall I was. I'm 6'4". The response was, I know Tank is like 5'4", but how tall are you?
Of course.
You are a shortman. You are a shortman.
Yep. Anyhow, big weekend plans coming up, Jeremy?
We got no kid this weekend. We got no out of towns. We got the Silverados Country Music Fest next weekend for Amy's birthday. I'm not gonna lie, Tank. I've been in pants, and working from home, I'm not used to that. So I think we're gonna have to shed these about the time we walk in the door, and we'll reconvene with those sometime next week.
Okay,
that's the biggest plan.
Okay, sounds riveting. Great plans for the week. For the weekend. Hope everybody stays safe, get some time outside. I hope the sun shines a little bit this weekend. It's supposed to be rainy and thunderstormy and nasty, which means my pool plans are out, which means I guess we'll just have another weekend to practice up on the old NCAA 14 and get ready
Are
for
you
the
practicing up on that?
Get ready for the release of NCAA 25. I guess they're not calling it that. It's college football
25.
25. The new game coming out in just a few weeks. I dug out the PS3, playing around a little bit with it because I don't want to, totally embarrass myself, as you say I'm going to when the game comes out. But it is what it is. You're gonna destroy me with the option game anyway, so it doesn't.
Yes.
It doesn't really matter. All right, that's going to wrap it up for us this week here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Back with you on Monday for a shortened holiday week before the Independence Day holiday. We'll have more previews of the NFL season coming up, team-by-team previews, more fantasy football content all on the way as well, and, of course, your weird news of the day. It's always one of my favorite things to do is to, just see if I can make Jeremy laugh during the
Usually
during
I
the
fade
news
out and
segments.
come in at the wrong time.
He does. He
and go,
does that
but
thing.
For
And,
why are
it
you saying
bothers
these things?
me. Anyway, good thanks once again to our friends here at Parks Ford Hendersonville, 601 Duncan Hill Road. You want to be a part of the Parks family, come on by and see them. Drop by the showroom anytime. 601 Duncan Hill Road in Hendersonville. Parks Ford Hendersonville, home of the Parks Promise. We'll be back with you on Monday right here on ESPN Asheville. Thank you, sir. All right. Let's see what we got here. All right, that's going to time you out.